Ross?
He's the multi-award-winning comedian and actor and multi-million best-selling author who's just come up with another belter. His 39th kids' book, The Blunders, is out now. So we'll see your Michelangelo's David and raise you David Walliams!
Yes!
Hang on.
39th.
Okay, let me say this. Enid Blyton wrote over 200.
Yeah.
Michael Morpurgo, the author of Warhorse, has also written over 200. He's written so many books, no one can remember how many books he's written.
Right.
Okay? So please, some people write one book.
Yes.
Some people, like you, read one book. But I have written...
He's on fire today, isn't he?
He's been to the gym, he's shot.
He's lost all this weight on the old stress diet.
No, so yeah, I have written a lot, but you know what? I love doing it. I've just been like around the country signing books, like meeting people, and you know what? As long as people want to read your next book, it's a fantastic thing. And we're all parents in this room, right?
Yes,
We're all dads.
yes.
And getting your kids to read is not always the easiest thing, is it?
No, it's not. And you can actually, you can read them into falling in love with books. I used to write more than I read, and I wrote myself into the love of reading. So it doesn't matter how you get there as long as you get there.
Did you read as a child?
No, I read one book for
Which
O-level.
one was it?
It was Black Beauty, Anna Sewell,
Okay.
which I loved. I thought, that's it. That was the one book you're referring to. And it was so good. Good like all other books, I thought. And left it a while.
You
And then
just
realised
left
I
it
was
at one,
wrong.
You go, it was so good, I don't need to read another.
Literally. We were
I
supposed
remember meeting some girls. How would you like books? I prefer magazines myself.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, they're not quite the same thing, are
quite
they?
the same, or instructions for things, maybe.
Yeah, but it's just the Blunders is just meant to be fun.
Oh, there he goes, dropping the title straight.
The Blunders.
He's very good at this.
Sorry, the Blunders.
Yes.
Sorry, and you interrupted, Chris. The Blunders.
Yes.
Is just meant to be fun. It's like a family of Mr. Beans who all live in a crumbling country house in the 1930s, and it's about all their
Yeah,
misadventures.
don't worry. I was going to ask you all those questions.
It's called, Chris, it's called
The Blunders. Do you want to come in? Do you want to have a live? Come in and meet David. These are lovely people who paid loads of money to
very
be
generous people.
here. Like uber generous people,
know.
ridiculously. So it's the Blunders.
The Blunders, yeah,
yes,
the Blunders.
The Blunders. Now, you have a dog called Bert and you have
Yeah.
a dad called Bertie.
Well, yes,
It's all
I
the
do.
bees.
I do. I like bees. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hello. Hi.
Hello, David.
Hello, generous
He's got a
people.
book out. It's called The Blunders.
It's called The Blunders, everybody. So,
yeah. It's his 39th book. Yeah.
It's quantity over quality.
Do we have an ooh for that? 39 books? That's 39 different books. Not 39
Yeah, you can't
copies
write
of
the
same
same
book.
one over and over again, Chris, like you did with your autobiographies.
Yay! Boom! He's coming fighting. But he's going to go down, let
You
me tell
like
you.
it. Can I
I've
come
not even
back?
started yet. Everybody's got a plan till I punch him in the face. So tell us, all the bees. So for Mum and Dad,
Yes.
Okay,
Bertie and Betsy Blunder.
sure?
They're Lord
Yeah.
and Lady Blunder.
okay, and the kids?
The kids are called Bunny and Brutus.
It almost sounds like you've read
and
it.
there's of course I've read it. And old Lady Blunder is the grandma, and they have a pet ostrich called Cedric.
Why wouldn't they?
And they have a butler called Butler the butler.
Come on!
Then they can't forget his name or his job.
Did you run out of names, or do you just think it's funny to call the butler the butler?
What's that? Did I write the names?
Did you run out of names?
No, I didn't run out of names. I can come up with lots
They're
of names,
so
Chris.
posh, though, aren't they? They just call him Butler.
Yeah,
That's the
Butler,
point.
Butler the butler,
Because
yeah.
they're almost too posh for their own good.
Correct. What the starting point was I just thought, is there a way of doing a kind of silent comedy as a book?
Yes.
Because I grew up with silent comedy, because the things like Laurel and Hardy were repeated, and then sort of in the sort of 80s, and I watched Harold Lloyd and Charlie Chaplin, and then of course we have Mr. Bean.
Yes.
And you know, you go to meet any child and they say I love Mr. Bean, and I thought, is there some way of doing Mr. Bean type humour?
So is there
in a
any way
book?
of ripping off Mr. Bean?
See, you're projecting what you would do, Chris. You would rip off Mr.
Is
Bean.
there any way
Me,
of
I'm
ripping off-
paying homage.
You started it. Is there any way of ripping off Mr. Bean, combining it with Roald Dahl's twits and making a few quid?
Well, I mean, Now you say it, that does actually ring true. Yes.
Right, so they go and see a banker because the thing about Daddy Blunder, he's always inventing stuff.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of Caractacus Potts about him. So
Yes.
there's a bit of theft from Chitty Chitty Bang
Oh,
Bang.
yeah, now you say it. That rings a bell, yeah.
You started it. So he goes and sees the banker. The banker then comes to see him and
Yeah.
gets him to sign some kind of dubious contract.
Yeah, so basically, if his invention, which is a Uni Shoe, which is one shoe...
So both feet in one shoe.
Both feet in one shoe, so you have to hop. If that fails, then the house, Blunder Hall, belongs to the bank.
Come on, boo!
And so,
good, isn't it?
It's quite weird with an audience. And,
Of grown-ups sounding like children.
and so the family have to come up with the money to save Blunder Hall. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that, Chris.
Come on, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. It's
I love
very,
this.
very funny.
Do you remember? So the Uni Shoe used to be in the Sunday Mirror every week.
Yes, I know, and that's what I was inspired by. So a little bit, obviously, the Sunday Mirror colour supplement, because I remember seeing it. It was basically like a slipper, a pair of slippers.
It looked like a
for
hot water
an
bottle.
older person.
Yeah.
Because you probably have a walk-in bath now, do you?
Yeah, well, I used to have a walk-in bath, but then I got one of those cranes that lowers me in.
That's good.
You know, I thought I'll liquidate a few shares because the old Nasdaq's not going that well at the moment, and I'll get one of those cranes for me and my children's collection of Shetland ponies.
And the children like going up and down on the standard stair lift, don't they? So it's win-win.
Yeah.
But I was thinking the door for the bath, it just seems like a recipe for disaster.
But then all the water comes out.
So you have to sit in the bath as it fills up. Then you have to wait for it all to go out until you can open the door.
Have you, because there's Butler the Butler in this book, have you had experience of a butler? Because we've had Butler chat already this week on the show, haven't we? Which is quite interesting.
The only butler I've ever met, well, I've met some people around. Have you ever been to Buckingham Palace?
No, but I've been to Jimmy Carr's house, which is not dissimilar.
Okay, it's not quite as impressive, I'll be honest with you.
No, but he's got more
Have you been
butlers.
to Buckingham Palace? No, but I've been to Jimmy Carr's house.
No, because it's a butler chat.
Yes.
He likes a butler, Jimmy.
Yes, he does. Well, but Elton John has a butler.
Come on, Elton John.
He's had a butler for like sort of 50 years
Yeah,
or something
Jimmy,
like
come
that.
on.
Yeah.
What's up with you?
Well, it's a very nice thing, and Elton John should have a butler.
He should have a
Shouldn't
butler.
he? Because he's Elton John.
He's
Sir Elton
He's
John.
Sir Elton John.
So, no, I haven't really had experience of butlers, but I did find it. The funny thing about the royal family is the people around the royal family are often posher than the actual royals.
Yeah.
Because I went to Buckingham Palace the first time when I swam the Channel for charity, and I got to take my mum. This man, sort of courtier, came up and he said, Mr. Walliams, a swimmer. You may be interested to know that there is a swimming pool here in Buckingham Palace. And I said, oh, wow, well, I'd love to see it. The chances of you seeing it are nil. All right, you mentioned it. I wasn't even that bothered.
Yeah. How do I know it exists now?
Yeah.
We had Luke Evans on the show day before yesterday, and he was talking about his new play, which is all. Is it called Backdoor Billy?
Backdoor Billy, yes.
Yeah, which is about the Queen Mother's butler.
Yes.
Who was her butler for over 50 years. And, you know, you talking about the affectations of members of staff around the royal family. This guy apparently was an absolute legend. You sound like you know about him.
Well, I have read about it a bit because I'm quite interested about sort of, you know, stories about the royals. And one of the things didn't she used to call the butler to change the channels on the television? Did he tell this story or not?
No, well, he's never told. Backdoor Billy's never said anything to anyone.
Well, she was meant to have called the butler, had a little bell,
right?
So the butler could come in and change it from like BBC One to BBC Two. She could watch the racing, and then one day they got her like a new TV with a remote control. I said, "Oh, madam, you can do it yourself." She said, "No, I'd still like to call the butler to change the channels
on the remote control."
She didn't want to leave that. She wanted to use the remote control. And also, there is quite a good story in Paul Burrell's book,
right,
about they're waiting for the Queen and Princess Margaret to arrive at Balmoral, and they're just watching the TV, and then Princess Margaret rushes in, touches the back of the television, feels that it's warm, and goes, "Lilibet, they've been watching our television."
How dare they? Off with all their heads.
I know. Funny, isn't it?
All right,
you wouldn't want to be royal, would you?
I'm happy where I am, I think. Don't you? We all have our own throne of sorts.
I think it'd be tough, though, being royal, right?
Yeah, well, it's an extraordinary experience. I suppose if it's all you've ever known, Who knows? Who knows? I know. I wouldn't. Who said recently? Somebody talks about fame. And being royal, of course, is fame of sorts, if not the most famous you can be, especially if you're part of the British royal family. But fame is a prison. It's the opposite. So you have just talking to James Blunt about this, you have all the opportunities. With that comes vulnerability. With that comes all these other different things. I mean, I'd rather take it than not. I'm sure you subscribe to the same.
I tell you, the best thing about it is you can sort of make people happy.
Yeah.
Just by sort of appearing or saying hello to people, doing a picture with someone or whatever.
Does David make you happy this morning being here?
Yeah.
That's nice.
It was quite muted.
It was a bit muted.
Hooray! I have one fan. There we are. And I signed some for you. I've given you my new book. For your children.
Well, he's giving it to you for now. You'll have to pay later,
yes.
I would imagine.
Well, I have my own chip and pin machine that I brought with me.
Chip and pin. I'm buying or selling. Anyway, the reviews are in. Here we go. The Blunders, the brand new David Walliams offering his 39th book. Maybe his last two. You never know. You never know what's around the corner.
No, I've already written another one.
Have you?
Yeah.
For the big 4-0?
Yeah, this will be the big one.
Will that be particularly tumultuous because it's the 40th?
I don't think anyone will care other than me, but
I quite care about
No,
that.
I mean it's good, but if people are eager to read them, then it's nice to keep writing.
All right, well, here we go. Reviews just in. For people who are listening to the show for the first time, that may well be happening right now. Let's hope so. Who is this reviewing the book?
The last time.
This is...
Only because you're on it. Anyway, go on. It's usually better than this, everyone.
Our 9-year-old Mary, who, as of 3 weeks ago now, gets paid £2 per review. She does the reviews on this show for the kids' books. And this is what she thought, David, of The Blunders.
Here we go.
The Blunders is hilarious because the Blunders are all hilarious, including Cedric the ostrich, who almost ate all of the plans to turn Blunder Hall into Blunder Borstal. But if he had, I suppose there would be a story. And that would mean no silly inventions, like Credis, Connect 444 and the Uni Shoe.
Now, she doesn't actually say what she thinks of the book.
She said
She
it's
did.
hilarious.
She said it's hilarious.
Oh, I didn't hear that bit.
No, she said it was hilarious.
I didn't hear that bit.
About 100
Really?
times.
No! Didn't we parachute that in? That's very good editing. That was from...
So you've basically interrupted a child.
No, that was from the Tim Peake review, wasn't it? Because I could tell the difference in the intonation there. No, she loved it.
He pick on me?
Of course she did.
Why does he pick on me? It's often you do it when you have a crush on somebody. He's gone red. Oh no, he was red already.
There are exceptions that prove the rule. Am I more red than his book has been?
My book is yellow.
That's what no, but has it been read?
Oh, has it been read?
Will it ever be read
well,
by
obviously
anyone?
not by you.
That's
You've read
the
the
question.
first page. That's it.
Yeah, it's very much lacking in pictures, I've found. Tell us about...
Don't pick your nose
I
when
wasn't
you're
picking my
presenting a
nose.
radio show. What are you going to do with it now?
I was picking my nose. I was merely...
It's on your finger now. You're going to do something. Get rid of it.
Yes.
I mean, if you've got a tissue, I don't want it. Get a tissue.
It's cheaper than Wrigley's.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Does he always do this?
Tell us about Blunder Hall. Tell us about where they live.
No, I don't want to.
Yeah. Do you know what? I didn't even want to ask the question.
You weren't in
I just looked at the clock and thought, I've got 3 minutes left of this.
Yeah,
I am interested.
Blunder Hall is a crumbling country house.
Yeah.
So I sort of thought, Laurel and Hardy always sort of given a task, aren't they, of sort of fixing a building and then they destroy it in the process of fixing it. So that's the kind of thing I wanted to happen. Those kind of
So you've stolen from
misadventures.
Laurel and Hardy,
Laurel and Hardy
as
well. Yes. There we are. They can the long
Has
list
there
of
ever been
people.
more literary thefts in one book? That's what I'm asking myself this morning. So James Blunt is going to play our gig in the Garden Art down in the disco. You've been at those before. I'm going to ask you now to come and do a Q&A at James Blunt.
When
Would you
is
like
it?
to see David at James Blunt's gig?
When?
Saturday, June 22nd next year.
I'm there.
In my garden. Done deal?
But listen.
Yes.
Could
listen.
I do a little one-man show for the kids, for the families?
Well, there aren't any children coming.
Well,
So-
could you invite some?
No.
Maybe the parents would they don't want to because they all like to get drunk
they're paying. It's part of the
and
deal.
wife swap.
They get like.
They do look like swingers. When you look at them, you do think, they've got something about them.
Yeah.
That swings.
Swing fest. There you go.
Hey!
That
would be a lot more popular. It's you that likes cars, Chris.
Come
Most
on.
people don't care about them.
No, we do say you were there at the last Dine and Disco where you said, the great thing about the Dine and Disco is some people aren't in a couple. Some people come on their own or they come with a friend. And the great thing about the history of the Dine and Discos over the last 19 years now is that as a result of Dine and Discos, there have been 6 marriages.
Hooray. How
But
many?
they've also been
17 divorces.
Yes!
2 divorces.
No,
What happened?
nothing.
What did
nothing.
you?
No, I'm joking.
What did you say? What did
of
you
course,
do?
they haven't been- people don't get divorced for charity, but if they want to, then I'm your guy.
Okay.
So will you come?
Yes,
Promise?
I would love
Is
to.
that-
You always do that. What
know.
you do is you do it live on air.
I know, of course.
So what if I asked you to do things live on air? Would you do them?
No, I would
Would you
play-
come over to my
as-
house and do some light dusting? Come on, Chris. We're live on air. Would you come over and just... Because I know you're...
all right then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And would you do it nude?
Yes. I would only do it nude. Comme d'habitude. You go to some people's house and it's a shoes off house. You know that?
That's not my... I know people always ask, do I need to take my shoes off? And I say, no, you just need to take everything else off.
Yeah. You can leave your shoes on.
Yes.
However, the rest of it, off. So Wednesday night, what did you do on Wednesday?
I went to see Madonna in concert. And I was next to Sadiq Khan,
Right.
which I didn't think I would be.
Yes.
And I said to her at one point, if you can't see, don't worry, you can sit on my shoulders.
And did he?
And he really laughed. Yeah, he really laughed. And there was another funny bit where one of Madonna's daughters was playing the piano.
Right.
I think it was Crazy for You. And then Madonna climbed up onto the piano, and I turned to Sadiq. I said, yeah, my mum would always do that. Well, I played the piano. Because she was sort of draping herself over it. But it was a great concert.
probably
I
on
was
a
the
rest.
straightest person there,
Yeah.
which isn't saying much.
It's not a very high bar, is it?
The Pet Shop Boys were there. Mark Allman was there. Sienna Miller, all these sort of Emma Watson, and Rita Ora as well. So
What
it
did
was
you
very
think?
starry.
What do you think of the gig? Because I hear only amazing things.
It's amazing. It's sort of incredibly creative. Like the Madonna always does that. It's like each song is almost like its own sort of pop video, and she has just got so many hits. The really incredible moments, and this is quite serious now, is she does "Live to Tell," which is a beautiful song, and she makes it sort of elegy for all the people she knew who died of AIDS, mainly in the 80s and 90s, and she was very close to like Keith Haring and various photographers and celebrities, and that is really moving. You see all the pictures of the people, and it starts off with people you all know, like sort of Freddie Mercury, and then it just becomes more and more pictures, and there's like thousands of people. So that was the real spine-tingling moment.
Yeah, Steve Denyer, who works here with us, he's been to all 4 shows this week, all the
Right.
4 Madonna shows, and he'd been to 19 Madonna shows before last Saturday. He's now been to 23. And as a gay man himself, he spoke to that so well, so movingly, didn't he, on the air a couple of days ago? So he sort of conjured up what was going on and why. And he said the thing about Madonna is, and a lot of people may not know this, he said she was there for us. She was there for the gay fraternity, in the 80s and the 90s when we felt like we had nobody else, not even our friends. She was there for us because a lot of her friends were gay around the scenes that she inhabited, and a lot of them did die, and I didn't realise what a close... I know she had a massive gay following, but I didn't realise how deep it went.
Well, Boys Magazine, which was a free magazine you used to get in like gay bars and clubs, used to call her our glorious leader.
Wow.
And so when I met her, I said, did you know about this? And she said, no. I said, it makes you the fascist dictator of gays. But no, she is. She is an amazing figure. She's an amazing survivor. I was the right generation to have a picture of her on my wall when I was a kid because, I found her so attractive.
Did you see her back in the day, Imperial?
I saw the Blonde Ambition tour. So the first concerts I ever went to as a kid, I went to see Michael Jackson Bad, tour, and then I went to see the Blonde Ambition Madonna tour, and I thought, oh, all concerts are like this.
Yeah.
And they were so spectacular. Wembley Stadium, and there's also sort of people felt a bit more famous then.
Yeah.
There wasn't so many different parts of culture.
Yeah.
So they were like gods. It was incredible.
When they landed, it was like they'd come from outer space.
Yeah, and I think that even Michael Jackson finished the gig or started the gig, but on a jetpack. I mean, it was a stunt person, but he sort of left Wembley Stadium on a jetpack. And it was amazing.
they were the three big gigs, weren't they? There was Live Aid at Wembley.
Yeah.
And then there was I didn't see Queen at Wembley, but you'd have that as the third. Then you'd have Madonna, and then you'd have Michael Jackson. And
and Prince probably as well.
Yeah, I suppose so. I saw him at Wembley Arena, not at Wembley Stadium.
I saw him. Yeah, it was amazing.
Wow, David, great to talk to you, man.
Lovely to talk to you, and lovely to meet all these fantastically generous
sticking around
people.
for pictures. David Walliams again,
Thank you.
everybody. Woo!